Hi drivers, I want to talk to you today about representing yourself in your own case for unpaid wages. We normally don't do unpaid wage claims unless you're not being paid because you wouldn't break hours of service or you wouldn't drive with an audible air leak. In the garden variety wage loss case, the issue is a matter of state law, and we don't do cases in state courts outside of Minnesota. We do cases in federal courts, but you need a federal claim, and normally a wage claim is an issue of state law. So some tips. One is to go search online for the state small claims court. In some states like Minnesota they're called conciliation court. In some states in the South, they're called magistrate courts. And in other states, they're called small claims court. In some states, a small claims court will handle claims up to $20,000. Other cases, they're $3,000 or $8,000 or $1,000. The normal garden variety wage claim can be brought in a small claims court. You will need to appear. Appear means show up for court. So the starting process is this if you have a wage claim. Start working Google. That's where I would start. And find out what the limit is for the small claims court in the jurisdiction where the carrier employed you. If you're working for a carrier in the Chicago area and you live in Arkansas and your work reporting location, normal work reporting location, wasn't in Arkansas, you're going to have to file in Illinois. Illinois is where the site of your employment is. So Google Illinois courts, Illinois Small Claims Court, and you'll find the limit there. And I have never had difficulty finding an online form for small claims courts in any state. Normally you can get it online. I know certainly you can for Illinois. Just work Google. That's the same thing I would do. If you can't get the form online, call the court and ask them to mail you one. And then what you do is, once you have that form, you fill out your name, plaintiff, and the name of the company. And that's how you file it. You pay a small court filing fee. Typically, small claims court is going to run somewhere between $40 and $100 to file. The other thing is you're going to look for the statute that applies. You don't have to have it in small claims court, but certain states provide a penalty for an employer who pays late. So you're going to want your evidence, you're going to want your claim. You fill out the form. John Smith Trucking owes me $1,847.53 for the following loads performed. I was supposed to be paid 60 cents a mile. They have failed to pay. It's that simple. If you search Google and you find that the statute that applies to wage claims in Illinois or Nebraska or wherever you're bringing it has a penalty, like $100 a day for up to 15 days for non-payment of wages timely. You put that in there. And then you send it to the court. You keep a copy. And you don't send normally you wouldn't send your evidence to the court with the filing. You would just send in the filing, pay the filing fee. They'll send you back a notice of when you have to appear. And that means you are going to show up physically in the courtroom at the courthouse on the date scheduled. I am unaware of a single small claims court, magistrates courts, conciliation court, whatever it's called in an individual state, that is going to let you appear by telephone or video. Maybe they exist, but normally that's not the case. So you're going to need to take time off to show up for work, from work, and to show up for court. The other thing you want to bring is your evidence. So if you have your pay stubs from your last week you actually got paid, and can show that you continued to work. So it might be pictures of your logs, or a settlement with some crazy deduction for it for truck cleaning fee. Make sure you have your evidence and you go in there. And when you appear in the court, some places it's a lawyer who's called a referee who works part-time, works one day a month, playing judge. Other cases, it's an actual elected or appointed judge from the state court. And you get up and state your case. My name is Joe Smith. I worked for the XYZ Trucking Company, out of Romeoville, Illinois. I was not paid for the week of June 1st to June 8th of 2022. Here are my logs. Here's our copies of the bills of lading. These are loads I hauled. And that's it. No arguing. Most of the time, or quite often, the carrier will not even show up. They'll just get a conceded default judgment and might pay you, might not pay you. But if you have a small claims court claim, a wage claim, that belongs in a state court. And I hope this video is helpful to you, and feel free to comment on it. Thanks for watching.